This is Mrs. Wainwright's class, Chapter 1, Lesson 7A, Multiply by Two-Digit Factor, the box method. Today's learning target: by the end of today's lesson, we should confidently be able to say, I can use the box method to multiply by a two-digit factor. And this is Jose's holy cow, this is easy box method. This is a picture of Jose. I had him in my class a few years ago. When we were doing multiplication, I was teaching multiplication, Jose said, Mrs. Wainwright, I have an easier way that my teacher taught me last year. Can I teach it to the class? So he showed it to me. It was a method that worked all the time. Any method that works all the time is great. And I said, sure, Jose, why don't you teach it to the class? So when Jose taught it to the class, I sat in his seat and I was a student. I'd seen this way before, but when Jose taught it, it made so much more sense to me, and I became a big fan of the box method. So this is Jose's holy cow, this is easy box method. For today's box method multiplication, we will all use the box method and we will all show work as shown in this video. Let's take a look at example number 1, 36 times 15. This is a multiplication problem. I'm using the box method, so I'll draw my box. And I see my first number is 36. The first digit I have is a 3. That's in the tens column. There's one digit after that. So I'll copy down the 3, and I'll put 1 0 after that. The next digit in 36 is the 6. That's in the ones column. There's no digits after that. So I'll simply write down the 6 with no digits after it. I'm done with the 36, so I take a line to separate the two, which also separates the box. Now we move to my second factor, which I'll write at the top. My second factor starts with the digit 1, which is in the tens column. There's one digit after it. So I'm going to write a 1 with a 0 to show that the 1 is in the tens column. My next digit is a 5 with nothing after it. So that's 5 is in the ones column, so I'll write a 5. And again, that makes sense. 10 and 5 is 15. I'm done with all of the digits in that second factor, so I'll draw a line straight through between them to separate my box. Now I'm ready to multiply. So my first box, I have 30 times 10. What I'll do first is write down my place value zeros because that helps me line everything up, which helps for addition. So I see in 30 there's one place value 0, and in 10 there's another place value ending 0, so I'll add my 1, 2 zeros. Now I can multiply my basic facts. 3 times 1 equals 3, and write that down. Let's move to the box underneath it. I know that in a 6 there's no zeros, but in a 10 there's 1 0. So I'll put down that one place value 0, and my basic facts will be 6 times 1, which equals 6. Let's move on the top right hand side. I'm multiplying 30 times 5. In 30 there's 1 0, in 5 there are none. So I'll put down that one place value 0. Now I'll multiply my basic facts. 3 times 5 equals 15. Let's move to the box underneath that. In 6 there are no zeros, and in 5 there are no zeros, so there are no place value zeros here. I'll simply multiply my basic facts of 6 times 5 equals 30. Notice every time I write down my numbers in the box, I line them up with the digits above them. Now I'm going to add each box, and then I'm going to add the two totals that I get. So 0 plus 0 equals 0, 0 plus 6 equals 6, 3 plus nothing equals 3. Let's move to the boxes on the right. 0 plus 0 equals 0, 5 plus 3 equals 8, 1 plus nothing equals 1. So I have 360 plus 180. Let's move that over to scrap paper on the side. 360 plus 180. Again, I lined up my digits. That's so important. 0 plus 0 is 0. 6 plus 8 equals 14. Put down the 4, carry the 1. 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So 36 times 15 equals 540. Please stop the video and complete worksheet number 1 right now using the box method. Example number 2 is 76 times 45. Again, I'm using the box method, so I will draw my box. Look at my first factor, 76. The first digit is a 7. That's in the tens column. There's one digit after that. So I'll copy the 7 and put 1 0 after it. My next digit is the 6. There's no digits after it because it's in the ones column. So I'll simply copy the 6. I finished all of my digits in the first factor, so I take my pencil and separate them to divide up the box. Let's move to my second factor, which is 45. The first digit is a 4. It's in the tens column. It has one digit after that, so I'll put a 4 with 1 0. The next digit, 5, has no digits after it because it's in the ones column, so I'll simply write the 5. Take my pencil, separate the numbers to divide the box. Now I'm ready to solve for the first box on the top left-hand side. I see a place value 0 in the 70 and a place value 0 in the 40. So I'll write down my two place value zeros, and now I'll multiply. 7 times 4 equals 28. Put down the 8 and the 2. Let's move to the box underneath it. There are no place value zeros in a 6, but there is a place value 0 in the 40, so I put down that place value 0, lining my digits up with the box above it. My basic facts are 6 times 4, which is 24. Put down the 4, line it up. Put down the 2, line it up. Let's move to the box on the top right-hand side. In 70, there's one place value 0. There are none in 5, so I'll put down that one place value 0. Now my basic facts are 7 times 5, which is 35. Put down the 5 and the 3. Let's move to the box below it. There are no zeros in 6, and there are no zeros in 5, so we simply multiply our basic facts. 6 times 5 is 30. Put down the 0 and the 3. Let's add each of our boxes together, and then we'll add those totals to get our grand total. So 0 plus 0 equals 0, and 0 plus 4 equals 4. 8 plus 2 equals 10. I put down the 0 and carry the 1. 1 plus 2 equals 3. Move to the right-hand side. 0 plus 0 equals 0. 5 plus 3 equals 8. 3 plus nothing equals 3. So we'll add 3040 plus 380 on scrap paper. 3040. Line up my digits for the 380, and now I can add. 0 plus 0 is 0. 4 plus 8 is 12. Put down the 2, carry the 1. 1 plus 0 is 1, plus 3 is 4, and 3 plus nothing is 3. I see more than 3 digits, so I'm going to count back 4 commas. 1, 2, 3, and that's where my comma goes. Final answer is 3,420. Please stop the video and complete worksheet number 2 right now using the box method. Example number 3, 318 times 56 is a 3-digit number times a 2-digit number. So the only thing I have to do here is make sure that I make my box big enough, and then if I follow the format, it will still work itself out. So I'll make a nice big box, and my first digit in 318 is the 3. It has 2 digits after that, so I'm going to write a 3 with 2 zeros after it. Now I move on to the next digit, which is a 1. It has 1 digit after that, so I'll write the 1 with 1 0. I move on to the last digit. It's an 8. There's no zeros after that, so I'll write an 8. I'm done with my first factor, so I take my pencil and I separate each of the factors with a line to break up the box. Let's move to my second factor, 56. First digit is a 5. It's in the tens column. There's 1 digit after that, so I'll copy the 5 and put 1 0 after it. My next digit is a 6. There's no digits after it because it's in the ones column, so I'll simply write the 6. Take my pencil and separate my two numbers. Now I'm ready to go ahead and multiply. On my first box on the top left-hand side, in the number 300, I see 2 place value zeros, and in 50, I see 1 place value 0. So that's 3 zeros in total. Let's write them down. Now my basic fact, 3 times 5 equals 15, so I write that down. Move to the box underneath it. There's 1 0 in 10 and 1 0 in 50, so that's 2 zeros in total. And then my basic fact is 1 times 5, which equals 5. Move to the box underneath that. There are no zeros in 8, but there is 1 0 in 50, so put down that place value 0. My basic facts now are 8 times 5 equals 40. Notice how I line all of my digits up with the boxes above it to make it quick and easy to add. Okay, let's move to the top right-hand side. There are 2 zeros in 300 and none in 6, so I'll put my 2 place value zeros, multiply my basic facts. 3 times 6 equals 18. Move to the box underneath that. There is 1 0 in 10 and none in 6, so I put that 1 place value 0, and my basic facts are 1 times 6, which equals 6. Move to the box underneath that. There are no zeros in 8, and there are none in 6, so I don't have any place value zeros. I simply multiply my basic facts. 8 times 6 equals 48. I'm going to add up both rows of boxes and then add those two numbers together, so I put my plus signs. Okay, on the left side I have 0, 0, and 0 is 0. 0, 0, and 0 is 0. 0 and 5 is 5, plus 4 equals 9. 5 plus nothing equals 5, and 1 plus nothing equals 1. Let's move to the boxes on the right side. 0, 0, and 8 equals 8. 0 and 6 is 6, and 6 plus 4 is 10. Put down the 0, carry the 1. 1 plus 8 equals 9, and 1 plus nothing equals 1. Take those numbers, write them on scrap paper, line them up so I don't make any addition mistakes, and add them together. 0 plus 8 is 8, 0 plus 0 is 0. 9 plus 9 is 18, put down the 8, carry the 1. 1 plus 5 is 6, plus 1 is 7, and 1 plus nothing is 1. Let's count back for commas. 1, 2, 3 places, and I put the comma. So my final answer, 318 times 56 equals 17,808. Please stop and complete worksheet number 3 right now. And our final example is example number 4, a word problem. Mrs. Wainwright wants to eat 28 Hershey Kisses a week for a whole year. How many Hershey Kisses will she have eaten by the end of the year? And a year has 52 weeks. So what's the question? What's it asking us? We want to know how many Hershey's Kisses she'll have eaten by the end of the year. What do we know? We know that she wants to eat 28 Hershey's Kisses a week for the whole year. And we also know that a year has 52 weeks. So if she's going to eat 28 kisses every week for 52 weeks in a row, it's 28, 28, 28. I can add 28 52 times, but that would be annoying. Or I can multiply 28 times 52. When I solve that, I'll know what my answer is. So this is a multiplication problem, and this is the box method lesson. So I'm going to start by making my box. I take a look at the first factor, 28. 2 is in the tens column. It has one digit after it, so I'll write down the 2 with 1 0 after it. 8 is in the ones column. It has no digits after it, so I'll write down an 8 with no zeros after it. I'm done with my first factor. Take my pencil and put a line separating the 2. Let's look at my next factor, which is 52. 5 is in the tens column. It has one digit after it, so I'll write down a 5 with 1 0. 2 is in the ones column. It has no digits after it, so I'll write down a 2 with nothing after it. I'm done with that factor, so I take my pencil and separate the two numbers. Now I'm ready to go ahead and fill in my boxes. Top left-hand side, in 20, there's one place value 0. In 50, there's another place value 0. So that's 2 place value zeros. My basic facts, 2 times 5 equals 10. Move to the box underneath that. There are no place value zeros in 8, but there is a place value 0 in 50, so put down my place value 0. 8 times 5 equals 40, 0 and 4. Notice I'm lining up my digits because it's so important to make sure that I add properly. Move to the box on the top right-hand side, and in the number 20, there's one place value 0. In the number 2, there are none. So I put my one place value 0, and now I can multiply basic facts. 2 times 2 equals 4. Let's move to the box underneath that. There are no place value zeros in 8, and there are none in 2. So I simply multiply my basic facts. 8 times 2 equals 16, lining up my digits. I'm going to add each of my box columns, and then I'll add those two together. So 0 plus 0 is 0, 0 plus 0 is 0, 0 plus 4 is 4, and 1 plus nothing is 1. Next column, on the right-hand side, 0 plus 6 is 6, 4 plus 1 is 5. So I'm going to add together 1,400 plus 56. Notice again how I line up all of my digits. So 0 plus 6 is 6, and 0 plus 5 is 5, and 4 plus nothing is 4, and 1 plus nothing is 1. Count back 1, 2, 3 to put in my comma. But this is a word problem, so my answer needs a unit. The question says, how many Hershey's Kisses will she have eaten by the end of the year? I want to know how many Hershey's Kisses. So the answer will be, she will have eaten, my number is 1,456 Hershey Kisses, that's my unit, by the end of the year. And that's my final answer. Please stop and complete worksheet number 4 right now. So let's review. This lesson reviewed the box method. You can always choose between the box method or the traditional method, but what the smart student does is picks the method that helps him or her get the correct answer most often. I happen to be a fan of the box method, and I think a lot of other people are as well. I certainly know that Jose is, since it's Jose's holy cow, this is easy box method. And remember, to do the box method, we draw a plain box with nothing inside. We start it plain. We take our first factor and we do digit by digit. So the value of the 3 is 300, we write it down. The value of the 1 is 10, so we write it down. The value of this 8 is 8, so we write it down. After we have all of our numbers written for the factor, we take a pencil and make a separate line between the factors. Our second factor will go on top, and the 5 stands for 50, or the value is 50, so we write it down. The value of the 6 is 6. We take a pencil line and separate the two. We now have the box. When we multiply, let's say to figure out the box on the top left-hand side, first we put in all of our place value zeros, working from left to right. Then we multiply our basic facts. We do this straight down, fill in your place value zeros, multiply your basic facts. Fill in your place value zeros, multiply your basic facts. Go to the top right-hand side, fill in your place value zeros, multiply your basic facts. Next box, fill in your place value 0, multiply your basic facts. Next box, there are no place value zeros, so you simply multiply your basic facts. Then we add the first column, the second column, and we add those answers together. Once we add those answers together, that is how we'll get our final answer. We count 1, 2, 3 places to put the comma correctly into the final answer. Hopefully you can confidently say, I can use the box method to multiply a 2-digit factor. Remember, we will be doing more practice in class, and please see one of the teachers if you still have difficulty with this after the practice. We do agree with you, Jose. Holy cow, this is easy. We like the box method. Thanks, Jose. Good luck with this lesson.